What if I promised you a way that guarantees you're going to find the next 1000x gem in crypto? Pretty impressive, right? Well, if I told you that, I would be lying. But what if I told you that I've been around for 2 bear markets and 2 bull markets, and that I've found a process that helps me find the next gems and helps ensure that I don't get scammed or rug pulled? In this video, I'm going to show you the two-step approach that I take to finding the next altcoin gems that have the possibility to 10x, 20x, even 50x in the next bull run. Now, it is possible for coins to 100x, even 1000x. If you put €1 or $1 in Bitcoin right at the very start, you'd be worth over 2 million now. That's how many times it's gone up. With Shiba has gone up thousands of X's as well. And Shiba is a much newer token than Bitcoin. So what I have found is the age of the token doesn't really matter. But I've also found over the years that the tokens that tend to do well are the tokens that most people already know about. They're the tokens that solve problems like layer ones and like exchange tokens. So let's hop over and have a look now at how I look for these altcoin gems that are going to do really, really well in the next bull run. So the first resource I'm going to share with you is a website called CryptoRank. And CryptoRank allows you to look for upcoming IDOs and ICOs. So what's an IDO and an ICO? Well, an IDO is an initial DEX offering. An ICO is an initial coin offering. And on CryptoRank, we have the option to look at IDOs and ICOs. Now we can look at upcoming and we can also look at active. Another thing to look at here is Launchpad. So what exactly is a Launchpad? A Launchpad is somewhere a project can go to actually launch a token and to raise capital. And popular ones of these include the likes of PokerStarter and DAO Maker. So let's go back and let's have a look at active IDOs and ICOs. So we also have an IEO, which is an initial exchange offering. So these are the ones that are active at the moment. And we can see we have the project name, the initial capital, the raised capital, the total raised, the type. So is it an IDO, an ICO, or an IEO? The launchpad that it's using, the category, and the till. So that's when it's going to expire. So let's have a look at Goracle, for example. So this is blockchain infrastructure. Now, blockchain infrastructure often aims to solve a problem. And Goracle is a decentralized Oracle network on the Algorand blockchain. Now, this can be compared with Chainlink, which is also a decentralized oracle that supplies off-chain data to a blockchain. So this would be the likes of making sure prices of stable coins and altcoins and wrap tokens are all kept up to date. So we can see in here this is active until the 18th of April, which is only a few days away, and that it's looking to raise 1.19 million. And we also see then the token sale details. So if we scroll down, we can see there's an ICO coming soon. And this particular ICO is active. It's coming in at a price of 50 cents. There's 1.4 million tokens for sale and they're looking to raise 700,000. Now with this, there is a lockup of tokens and it gives details of the lockup. You can also see the previous rounds that have been made. Now, previous rounds are important. Tokens that have often done well are tokens that have VC capital behind them, venture capital behind them. So venture capitalists have looked at these projects, they've done their due diligence, and they believe that they're worth investing in. So we can see the different people that have actually invested in this, such as the Algorand Foundation. If you scroll down further, then we can see the tokenomics of this project, how all of the tokens are broken down, the token allocation, the initial value, and the token raised. And you can also see some screenshots there of what you would find on their website. Now you can from in here directly access their website. And step 2 that I use in finding my altcoin gems includes hopping over to the website and taking a look at the website along with other things that you have to look at. But we'll go through that later on in the video. So do stay tuned till the end of the video so you can find all of these tips and tricks. Let's go back to active there again. And we'll scroll down a little bit further and we can see at the moment there aren't very many that are actually active. Now the reason for this is that it's currently a bear market, and bear markets don't lead to the amount of new tokens being released as what you'd see in a bull market. And this is good because this gives you an opportunity to have a smaller list to actually filter through and use for the second stage of your research in finding these altcoin gems. So that's the first website I use. Now, another tool that I look in here is the funds and the funding rounds. So if we go to funding rounds, we can see the recent crypto VC investments. So in here, we can see the project, the date, how much it's raised, the stage, and who the investor actually was, and the category as well. So things that work well are, as I said, layer ones, something that solves a problem, which is blockchain infrastructure and blockchain services. DeFi projects do well because they provide liquidity, additional liquidity to layer ones and to layer twos. And blockchains without liquidity do cause a little bit of a problem. We also have another blockchain service there. So again, this is another list of tokens that you can look at and that you can use to do stage 2 of your research in to find those crypto gems. Another website that I use when I'm looking for the first stage, so the first stage is basically finding the tokens that I'm going to take on to the second stage. And this is CoinGecko. And in CoinGecko, they have a list called upcoming cryptocurrencies. And I look at this list as well, but the thing with this list is it's not as vetted as projects that have gone for venture capital funding and stuff like that. And some of these projects may never ever materialize in coins, and they may also end up being rug pulls or being scams. So you really need to filter these lists down in the second stage of your research. So we can see here the tokens when they've added. For example, we've got Omega Network. It's been added a month ago and there's 12,000 people that are looking at this on their watch list. Now, the more people that are looking at it, the better it could be. Now I'm going to change this around for a minute and show you that not all tokens that are on this list actually come to play. For example, Facebook Libra was listed 4 years ago here and it never made the cut. We also have this Axie coin, which has 52,000 followers. And a lot of the talk about this is that this ended up being nothing more than a scam. They were offering this deflationary token and people to use the blockchain and stuff. And the token the token materialized, but nothing ever really came of the project. So what you have to do is find the projects that you think may be interesting using CryptoRank or using CoinGecko. When you find the projects, go in and read the website, see what the project is about and see if it's something that you think will be a gem. The next stage then is when you have your filtered list, and this is a stage that you should not skip. This stage is an evaluation framework, and I have a full blog post on that. You'll find a link here or down in the comments to access this. But I'm going to go through this with you now in this video so you understand how to actually evaluate and make your list shorter and pick projects that have better potential and save you from being scammed or rug pulled. So this is a 4-step evaluation, and it can be broken down easy with this little pie chart. First, you're going to look at the value, then you're going to look at the protocol, then you're going to look at the growth, and finally you will look at the tokenomics and the economics. So let's skip straight down to value. The value of a blockchain and protocol projects is more in line with open source projects than traditional businesses. Most often a blockchain will be run by a foundation, and the foundation will develop, deploy and often maintain the protocol based on the core philosophy. The core values of the foundation are going to shape the tokenomics and the growth. In terms of dApps, these are created on top of a blockchain or a protocol, and they're often ran by either private entities or DAOs, decentralized autonomous organizations. And they are very often receiving funding or establishing partnerships with protocols and blockchain layers. So when you're evaluating the value, there's some key questions that you need to ask. First of all, on the core philosophy. What is the problem that the protocol or dApp is solving? Solving a problem also gives more value, adds more value than things that are just a nice to have. What is the key value that drives the protocol or the dApp? The team and its decisions, actions, intentions, and transparency will make up the core values that drive the operations. Then there's the value proposition. What value will the blockchain or dApp bring to end users? This is very much tied to the core philosophy and the problem being solved. So when you get your shorter list of the tokens that you found in step 1, you should ask these questions about the blockchain or the protocol or dApp that you are looking to probably buy into and find the next gem. After the value, you're going to look at the protocol, and this is the set of rules that all participants must follow. It governs how to communicate data across the distributed network, what blocks and transactions have to look like, and how participants are incentivized so that it abides by the protocol in the most profitable strategy. The protocol rules will define the network orientation. The network orientation is going to impact how the network grows and how the value will move along the blockchain ecosystem. So the key questions that you should be asking here about a protocol is, what's the consensus mechanism or the protocol rules? About the network orientation is, how decentralized or centralized do the protocol rules make this network work? And then you ask questions about the ecosystem. What apps are built on or can be built on top of this protocol? And the more things that can be built on top of it, the better and more use and more adoption there probably will be of this actual protocol or dApp. Next is growth. And growth for a blockchain project can be compared to distribution in a traditional business model. However, in blockchain, much of the growth is down to community, with the foundation still looking after deal making. So you want to know about the key questions you want to ask here are about protocol reliability. Is this triggered by mining or staking rewards? And is there enough incentive and strong enough incentive to attract people to support the network? What about the investor relations? Is the underlying cryptocurrency an investable asset? The builder community, how active and engaged are entrepreneurs on the platform, solution providers, developers? Does the builder community attract new end users, or does it attract new innovation? And then there's deal making. Are there any integrations with institutes or non-institutional channels? All of these add to what could possibly become a really, really great project to look at. And then the final stage in this evaluation framework is tokenomics and economics. So for a project to actually thrive, they need to be able to monetize. A layer 1 blockchain often monetizes by transaction fees because every transaction that happens on the blockchain has a fee incurred on that transaction. Tokenomics is the initial token distribution, the token supply, the market cap. What use is the token? Does it provide store value, utility, and or does it provide governance? How has the token been distributed? Is there lock-in periods for the token? When will these lock-in periods unlock? Price movement. How does the cryptocurrency gain or lose value? Do upgrades on the protocol affect value? What about integrations? Do these affect value? And will the payoffs of VCs and the team have an impact? So is there going to be a sudden sell-off of tokens from VCs and from the team that's going to impact the price? And then there's also the revenue basis. At the end of the day, all these projects need to make money. And how are the key players and the dApps making money? Now, if you can get yourself into the practice of asking these questions before you FOMO into a cryptocurrency project, you're going to reduce the risk of losing your capital and of being scammed. Now, these are the 2 steps that I take to make sure that I find the next crypto gem. But if all of this wasn't enough for you, I have a playlist now on the screen that goes through tools of how to do your own research when looking at all of this.